Alright, so we could access the context state. You saw here, it's pretty cool. Now let's update the state when user sign in or sign up. Right, so here in the sign in page you can see we have saved in the local storage. Now instead of just saving in the async storage, let's also push this to the context. All right, so for that we import use context, and then to start using context we can use context. So we need to destructure state and set state from use context, and we give auth context. So let's make sure we import auth context as well. Import auth context from context auth. Okay, so we import auth context, we use the context, so that means we should have access to this state. Now let's save in the async storage, and let's save. Let me just put it right here on top. Save in context. So set state, all I have to do is set state, spread whatever is already there in the state, and update the user. Now before we do that, actually we don't have to spread, we can just set data, because this auth state only contains the user and token, and here in the response data, that is exactly what we get, user and the token. So we can just directly use set state data. Okay, set state data, and once user logs in, we can even redirect them to home page. So we can do that. We show the alert, and then we can navigate. So we have already destructured navigation, so we can use that to redirect. Navigation dot navigate, and we navigate to home. So whatever screen name you have used in your navigation here in the app, whatever name you have used, the exact same name you use to navigate the user. Now this code, what it will do, this is in the sign in. So once user signs in, you save the data in the async storage, you save the data in the context, and you navigate the user to home page. Let's do the same in sign up as well. So first thing, you want to import use context, then you want to import auth context, context. Let me just double check the import. Yeah, that's right. So that's context, and then to start using context, we can use context. Let's destructure state, set state from use context, and we give auth context. Okay, let me just fix that, something happened. Okay, context, we have that context now. So here let's save to context, set state data, and then we can redirect the user. Navigation dot navigate to home. Awesome. Now before I try, I want to do one more thing, and that is configuring the axios. Alright, so let me go to the context. The reason I want to configure axios is later we need to send the token that we have here. We need to send this token to our server if you want to access some protected routes, or maybe to create a new post, delete your post. That time we need to apply the authentication in the server, so that time we have to send this token in the axios headers each time. So to avoid that, you can just configure axios here, get this from the local storage and put in the axios headers, so that it will send automatically each time. You don't have to manually do it, in each and every screens like here. All right, so for that, let me start. At the moment, we just configure the base URL, and later we'll come back and do this, because I want to show you the context in which situation you need to do this. So until then, we will just wait. All right, so let's go to the context auth. We have the axios. So to configure axios, let me put that just right here. So axios dot defaults dot base URL. So we get this property. Here you can set the base URL. So base URL is you can see here we are using API that is coming from config file. So let's go to the config. So we have the URL. This is the base URL, right? So we can use that. So let's go to context. So let me import that. Import API from config /auth. Okay, now okay, something happened here. All right, so here that would be API. All right, so that's the base URL. We configure axios this way. Later we will do more, but at the moment let's leave it like this. Now once you do this, you can go back here and sign in, and you don't have to keep writing the API. Now you can just use /signin, because this base URL has already been set here in the axios defaults. All right, so that's the beauty. You don't have to do that. You don't have to keep writing the full path, the base URL. You just give the endpoint. So that's sign in. Let's go to sign up, and let's do the same here. Perfect. Now that means we don't need this as well here. We don't have to keep importing that one. Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, we got some issues here. Config import, that's in auth.js. Let's go to auth. Let's import API from, let me check if it is export default or something else. Config, okay, export const. I guess that's right. Let me give it a reload. Unable to resolve module. So that is config. Oh, sorry. Config is a file, right? It's an individual file. Okay, that's right. Before I was trying config/auth. That's not right. This is config. Awesome. Let's reload. All right, beautiful. We got that. Now let me quickly go to the app, change this default route to sign in. Command R was the shortcut, but it doesn't work. Okay. Alright, so sign in. Let me sign in. And you can see here, once we sign in, we get this alert, we get redirected, and we have the token and user information in this state. Beautiful.